Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever annual movie review by annual
Weekly.
annual.
Or
Every
whenever-
time we see a new movie that is fairly hyped up, we will be sitting down at the table.
We're spitballing it.
Yeah, we're
we're
spitballing.
spitballing it, giving a review, some spoilers, some
Oh,
heavy
spoilers.
spoilers. So if,
Loads of spoilers.
No, like if you haven't seen this movie, do not watch this video.
Nah. Go watch the movie.
Yeah,
watch the movie.
It's a good movie.
watch the movie, then come back. Then we can talk.
Yeah. Okay. So Infinity War,
Yeah, the movie
That's-
we are talking about,
Inf-
Infinity War.
the Infinite War
Um,
of Infinity.
First thoughts? Do we like it?
I liked it.
I
You liked
loved it.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
I want to say it's probably my favorite Marvel movie so far.
It's close. Deadpool's still probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Deadpool is still probably my favorite right now.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. It's my favorite within the MCU.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So, I guess we should go over like a little brief summary of what
Yeah.
the film's
Just
about.
let's just do a quick summary. Does
Just
everyone want to do
no one is safe. That's pretty much the summary.
that? No
of
one's
the movie.
safe.
Yeah, I know that. But so Infinity War is pretty much it's all roads lead to Infinity War in the Marvel universe as of now, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So we've seen the team build up, the Avengers. We've seen the new additions, and we've come across the Infinity Stones in
A couple of times.
all the other films, right? Borrowed the Soul Stone.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that in a bit. But Infinity War pretty much is about the battle with the Avengers and friends against Thanos, who's the main villain in this movie, trying to get...
In the Black Order.
Yeah, in the Black Order. Yeah, Thanos. Thanos and friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he wants to collect all of them to like fill his,
The Gauntlet.
The
The
Gauntlet.
Gauntlet,
The
yeah.
Infinity Gauntlet.
and then he
right?
can like snap his fingers and do
Half
whatever he
of-
wants.
Half of the universe
It's
gone.
gone, just like that.
Yeah.
Disintegrates, just...
So,
So that's a summary.
that's a summary.
I have one question.
Mm.
And I thought this at the end, because I know Thanos said this a few times.
Mhm.
Do you think Thanos, at heart, is a bad guy?
No.
No. Because he even did, like, his kind of, like, backstory. Because remember when they were on Titan? And he was giving, like, the whole backstory
Mhm.
with the reality stone. He was saying that, like, my planet was going extinct or something like that, right? And then he
Mhm.
was like, I was the only one that said, like, the way we can make this better is if we kill half of the population.
So the
if-
rest of the half can survive.
yeah, so,
Mhm.
like, in a sense, he was doing it for the greater good, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, he's not really
that's
a
what I was
bad guy,
thinking.
but he, like, I guess over time he became sort of like this
Yeah.
guy that was like, okay, every half of the whole universe has to die in
And
order
he-
for it to be.
Yeah, and, he
it's
just
kinda
committed
gone.
with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I think he's just misdirected, really, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. Like you see it throughout the film where he shows empathy
Yeah.
to a lot of like the other characters within the film. Like
Mhm.
you could see how he talks to them all the times. Is sort of like you guys don't understand. Like
I
Yeah,
have to
he-
do this.
He even said that at one point. I forgot who he was talking to. He's like, or someone was like, "Oh, you're the only one that thinks this way," and then he said, "I'm the only one that
can-
understands it," or
yeah.
something like
yeah, I
that.
think that's his conversation with.
Wasn't it strange?
I think it's
It could've-
it's either Strange or Gamora.
One of the two, yeah.
Yeah, and he has that conversation. You see, even like there's an instance. This could get to spoiler territory
Well,
a bit.
I mean,
we already
we're already in
disclosed.
spoilers.
Yeah, fair enough. But like, there's an instance with Tony Stark
Mhm.
when he almost kills him, like just before.
Yo, that part fucked me up.
But you could see how he empathizes with him, being like, you were good. I hope your people remember you, sort of thing, right?
Yo, in that like kind
Oh,
of
yeah, yeah.
exchange
Yeah.
between the two of them, it almost seemed like Thanos kind of respected Tony out of everyone the most.
Well, that's
You
what
know
I'm saying. Like, there's the Tony instance. There's even with Star Lord when
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
When he's like kill him and then
We-
he
in the
puts
bubbles.
Gamora's head.
yeah, and
That
then
part was hilarious.
he
though.
almost goes and kills her, and then like uses the Reality Stone.
He's like, I like this guy.
Yeah, and he says
Yeah.
it to him. He's
Oh,
like,
God.
I like you, and it's kind of like you could see Thanos sort of like leveling with him,
Yeah.
Yeah.
being like, I get what your goal is.
That's the thing. Like, I felt like it was hard to like
Be mad at him.
hate the
Yeah.
like it was hard to hate the guy because like it was just two different thoughts. But his way I guess is wrong because there's probably another way to like
Yeah.
stop everyone from dying.
Well, yeah.
He could have just contacted Doctor Strange and been like, "Show me every option."
Well,
How- how
that's
to-
that's it. Yeah, like with Strange and like his whole thing as well, right?
So now that we got into the whole Strange thing, this is what I said about the IGN video.
Right.
I watched a video by IGN that kind of explained the ending, and you know how how Strange says like, oh, there's like 14 million possibilities.
Outcomes?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, we can only win one, right? And then he gives away the time stone, which in
Yeah,
end
which
kind of
was-
like screws everything up. So IGN said, because remember how when they're on the spaceship with what's the guy's name? The sorcerer, Darth.
Dark Maw.
Yeah, remember when they're on the thing and then Strange is like, oh, like if it's between you, the kid, and the stone, both of you guys are fucked. Like, I'm keeping the stone.
choosing stone.
Yeah, so what they said is that maybe it wasn't the only outcome for him to give the stone away, but the only outcome that they can win is if Tony Stark is still alive. So like he pretty much said like, okay, the only way we can win is if he takes like, he was going to kill Tony, right?
Right.
But Strange was like, okay, never mind, take the stone, right?
Right.
So what they were saying is maybe in that one instance, Tony had to be alive for them to win.
My problem
Yeah.
with that is that
Half of them die anyway.
Stark, or not Stark rather, but Strange, he brings up, like, he does his meditation and does the whole, time warp thing where he sees the 14 million outcomes.
Yeah.
He does that before they hatch the plan
With
to get the gauntlet off of Thanos' hand.
yeah.
And that plan, if succeeded, would have been the win.
Mm-hmm.
It was Chris Pratt, or
That-
Star-Lord rather.
That part cheesed me so
Yeah,
That part
that's-
cheesed me. That part was like you're so close.
Because like I understand why he did it, right? Like you can understand why he did it, but at the same time it's like, fuck, like why did you
I
have
know.
to do
And that's the
that?
thing. I feel like the whole subplot to this film is sort of like the bigger picture,
Hmm.
and that's the whole thing where it's kind of like, you get all these characters like binding to one, and you sort of have to look at it like, like you looked at the first Avengers, where like their major plot peak, like the climax of the film, was them being like, let's figure out how to bond together and work together
Yeah.
and fix this. And in the second one, it was the same, where
With Ultron,
Ultron
yeah.
pinned them against each other, sort of, and it was the same story where like, let's get together and let's figure out how we could solve this. And then when you get to Infinity War, it was getting the whole universe being like, okay,
Involved.
Because even after the whole Civil War, because remember how it split them in half?
yeah, Civil
This had to
War.
bring them together, like you said.
That's the whole idea. Like the whole franchise has been about this idea of, collaborating and working together to achieve this bigger goal, right? And you see that a lot in the film as well. I think where the film succeeds in changing itself from the paper cutout of a Marvel film is that even when they all collaborate, it didn't mean anything.
It
Like,
didn't do shit.
Because this is like the first time where like the villain won basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like
he did win. That's the thing.
yeah, he won. So
Yeah.
like we're like everyone's kind of like
Everyone shook.
yeah.
Yeah, like what's the next step? Like you just lost.
Well, let's talk about the ending.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so
So let's do a recap of who dies because
Okay.
I couldn't.
We'll start
keep
from
up.
we'll start from the beginning because we have to go through all of it, right?
Okay.
It goes Loki, which that's the only one I'm not sure about.
Was that at the beginning?
Yeah, where he like crushes
Oh,
his
yeah,
neck,
yeah.
right?
yeah, Loki.
That's the only one I'm concerned about, right? Then there's Idris Elba's character.
I forgot his name as well.
He's like Thor's best friend. He's the guy that sends Hulk back to Earth.
Yeah.
Then who is it?
Then it would be Gamora.
Yeah, Gamora.
Would be next. And in the mix of all this, you would have the Black Order,
You also have
the Black Obsidians, what they're called in the film.
Yeah. Then there's the Collector, who is presumed dead.
Yeah, the Collector's presumed dead. Yeah.
And then this is where it gets into like the Avengers starting to get offed.
But I feel like these are different deaths. Like the deaths we just talked about are more of like
It's a
real
physical
death. Like you can see them die.
Yeah, like
Then
it's not caused by the Infinity Stones themselves.
Yeah, at the
Yeah.
end, those deaths they like disintegrate into like
Nothing. They're
yeah.
gone.
So
It's a-
those ones are kind of like they like I guess technically died, but like we didn't see them die, because he has all those stones. He can like
Mm-hmm.
He could bring him back if he wanted to.
Exactly. He can
But-
do like a whole bunch of stuff. Like maybe they turned into something else. Like when the guy shot the gun and it turned into
The bubbles.
bubbles. Like at this point, like you don't know. Like
See, Marty and I talked about this.
Mhm.
Like, I wouldn't want them to bring all of them back.
Yeah,
I think it would just be like a huge cop out.
that's the problem. Like, Marvel's writing themselves in a corner right now.
I was thinking that.
Because, like, to precede the story, there's Avengers 4 coming out May 9th next year.
Yeah.
And, like, to write them out of this, it's like, okay, either you guys just defeat Thanos and you take that as kind of like a secondhand victory. You got your redemption story, sort of, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or they do something where they do, like, a whole time thing. Like, they got the time stone
That's what I
somehow.
was.
Rewind time and fix it that way. But then it's kind of like, then you're cheaped out in Infinity War. Like, the whole story doesn't matter.
Yeah, because I feel like it just from like a business perspective. Like if you're Marvel, like you're competing with DC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are they really competing though? That's the thing.
Well, okay. Well, like let's look at it from like
But I know
DC's
what you mean. Yeah, like it's
perspective. They're like, oh man, Marvel has all these cool superheroes. Wouldn't it be great if they all died?
Yeah.
And then we can have some cool superheroes. And then Marvel's like, hold my beer. Let's kill off half of our what everybody loves. You know.
And that's the thing too. Like, there's a lot of characters in the film that, from like the real world standpoint, going into the film, like me and Cam were talking, like
yeah.
Spider-Man's safe.
Safe.
There's no way they would kill Spider-Man or the Guardians because
Really?
they're a franchise in themselves, right?
And then not even that, just with like the whole new Avengers, like Scarlet Witch shouldn't die.
Yeah.
Like certain people shouldn't have died.
They
'Cause,
shouldn't
like,
die.
What we were thinking is maybe they'll kill mainly like the OG Avengers, right?
Mm-hmm.
That way they can go into the whole new Avengers plot, which is like Spider-Man, Scarlet Witch, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But they just said, fuck all that. Let's just keep everyone that's old and off everyone that has potential to bring us in money.
And that's the set. Like, it's sort of like, well, what do you do now? Because, like, you look at Tom Holland's Spider-Man, right? That's a huge cash cow for them. So
Yeah.
I'm already thinking, like, he'll have to come back. Like, that would be something they'll do just
Hmm.
for financial reasons.
I think him and Strange will be the only two to come back if they choose people.
Maybe they'll like bring them back in like different movies. Like they'll have like different things.
like
going on.
past movies and whatnot. Because
Well,
we
Yeah,
know.
because I feel like if they have one movie, like the next movie they come out with, where like they all get revived again,
Mhm.
it'll be kind of like, what was the point of that whole other movie?
Because we know from this film, with a conversation with War Machine and Cap, that this happens 2 years after the events of Civil War.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like Cam had even mentioned too, they could do the whole play around where their next films are set more in the past.
Yeah, like Ant-Man 2 is set before Iron Man 2, correct?
I'm not sure what the.
I know it's set way before Infinity
I
War.
think it's set. I think from what I've heard and what people have kind of said, which would be kind of cool, I guess, is that Ant-Man 2 is actually set nearly just before Infinity War.
Okay.
So they're thinking like Ant-Man 2 might end with like the events of the snap taking place. Like Ant-Man 2
like
might
it
be
happens
happening.
while it,
Yeah.
like they coincide sort of thing.
Yeah, sort of thing, right? But that's like the problem with all this is like, let's say they go down the route of like to still make money off the franchises
Yeah.
Mhm.
to kind of show the in between story. There's no real threat in the movie anymore because like
He's dead.
yeah, well
He
it's,
really is not gonna. He's gonna survive this.
he's
movie.
gonna survive whatever the problem is in this film. Let's say it's either Spider-Man or the Guardians.
Mhm.
Because for those of you who don't know, I don't know why you're still watching this, but all the Guardians died but Rocket.
Which that's something I wanted to touch upon.
And who else we got? We got Spider-Man, Black Panther.
Which I'm contrary to like the whole pop culture and like the whole hype. Like I'm kind of happy Black Panther got off.
Yeah, Black Panther was kind of... Well, I don't know. I feel like... I don't know how much more they could have done with him.
Yeah, I don't think they could have done a sequel.
No, because they had two of his major villains in his first one. White Wolf is like another major villain of his, but they gave that name to the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
So there wasn't too much they could do with him. Even with the Avengers, though, I feel like they're going to start running this dry. Like, I'm sick of Black Widow.
Eventually.
Yeah, I thought for sure Black Widow was getting off.
Yeah, I thought like he was getting flicker in the head and her head was just getting implode or something.
I was looking at something online, like the ending explained, and they were talking about Gamora's sister or something.
Oh
Nebula.
yeah, she survived.
Nebula. There
That's
there
right.
was something about her, about how she might be like extremely important.
Oh yeah.
She's kind
because
of badass though.
like in the comic books,
Mm-hmm.
she ends up taking the gauntlet or something.
I know. Like in the comics, there's a few like sub stories where different heroes get the gauntlet. Like it's one of those that like writers have kind of messed around with. Like, wouldn't it be funny to see what would happen if so and so had it? Because I know there was like kind of a spin-off where Deadpool even gets the gauntlet
No
and
way.
whatnot.
That'd be
And
hilarious.
That'd just be dangerous.
yeah, no, it's a great story because he uses the gauntlet to do like a roast, and then he kind of discovers that everyone in the Marvel universe hates him, and it's kind of like this like sort of dark thing. Like he gets everyone in the Marvel universe in the same room to have like a roast of Deadpool. So like yeah, like they throw the gauntlet around quite a bit to see.
So let's go back to the movie real
Yeah.
quick because we've been going on with the comics, right?
Yeah.
From your guys' perspectives, who like going into the movie, who did you think was going to die, and who did you think was going to survive?
Gonna die. I was curious about Black Panther,
Okay.
about like how like what they
They're
were gonna
gonna
do
do.
with him. I knew they were gonna do something with Spider-Man.
I didn't.
I almost saw Spider-Man in a way where it's like it's too crazy, it just might work kind of thing, you know? Like everyone's like they can't kill Spider-Man because Spider-Man is Spider-Man, but like you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, just to throw a curveball.
maybe
so-
that's just like no one's gonna think about it.
Yeah, because I thought Iron Man, Cap, and Hulk were gonna get killed. Just because, like, even in the comic books, like, there's this like
Hulk, yeah.
there's this great thing where Thanos backhands Cap
Mhm.
and snaps his neck. Like that's it. Like Cap like goes to try to fight him,
Yeah.
and then he breaks Iron Man's back. So it's like I thought those two were gonna die. I thought the Hulk was gonna die. We all knew Vision was done for.
Yeah.
They needed that stone. So other than that, it was kind of like a toss up of who they're gonna kill.
I thought for sure they'd kill Black Widow just because like
Yeah.
what does she have? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? She's a spy. She's like a shitty Jason Bourne, right?
Right.
I thought for sure Black Widow.
Jason Bourne.
I knew Vision was dead.
Yeah.
I thought they would kill, like, I didn't want them to, but I thought they'd kill Drax just because you know how Drax's whole driving force was to defeat Thanos?
Mhm.
I thought he was going to, like, run into him and Thanos was just going to, like, fucking curb stomp him or some shit.
Right.
Who else? I thought Cap was dead.
I thought Cap was done too. Yeah.
I thought, what's his name? His friend. Never know his name. The black dude. Anthony Mackie. Whatever his character name is.
Oh
Not Vulture.
no, not Vulture. We had it the other day. Falcon.
Yeah, Falcon. I knew he was dead.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, Black Panther too. I just wanted him to die. But other than that, like, I was just kind of like, I couldn't see them killing Iron Man or Thor. Like halfway at the beginning of the movie, I thought Thor was dead for sure. But then, like, this man just went on some shit.
Yeah. No. Once
Bro,
he got the Stormbreaker, like,
Yeah.
it was
Bro,
done.
Thor went on some ape shit in the movie.
Yeah. No. Thor was alright.
What was the whole story with the Hulk? How come he couldn't get hard?
He's impotent.
Seriously.
Yeah.
He couldn't get hard the whole
that
movie.
That kind of cheesed me. I know we talked about that. How the Hulk didn't even show. Like, he showed up at the very beginning and then.
I think it was kind of good because the problem is with the Hulk is that of how strong he is. It's the same with kind of like it's how they kind of worked out Civil War,
Mhm.
where they got rid of Bruce Banner and Thor for a bit
Right.
because it's like, well, there's no competition with these two. Like, one's a god and like, the Hulk's the Hulk. Like,
Yeah, I was thinking like I didn't understand like maybe if someone knows the comics they'd know. I was like, why can't Hulk
Because
become
if
Hulk?
he became Hulk, he would have slapped everyone.
yeah, I think it was more of like a story device from what I know.
But then he went into that like
The suit.
the suit thing, which is like I'm sure like almost as powerful. Maybe not, but like it seemed like it was just as powerful basically.
Yeah,
I think with the Hulk, I think it's more just kind of like the unknown factor. You know what I mean? Because like in the movies, like no one can really talk to him or like kind of settle him down except Black Widow. and this guy's just like a loose cannon. He'll just go after anyone. You know what I mean? But while he's in the suit, it's Mark Ruffalo or Bruce Banner, like consciously thinking about what he's doing. When it's the Hulk, it's just auto drive.
Yeah, maybe the Hulk knew, because even the Hulk was like no, like he was saying no.
Oh yeah.
As he was, so like maybe he knew that like if he turned into the Hulk, he would like make things worse.
I think it was also to like kind of the way I took that with the no was sort of like the Hulk persona itself was scared of Thanos after getting his ass handed by him.
That's
like
true.
earlier on in the film.
Yeah.
I was thinking that, and not to mention too, like Mark or Bruce Banner rather worked as a good character of sort of him and Thor, kind of like their conversation throughout film,
Right.
where they're sort of like, oh, like, you know, like with Iron Man, oh, just call Cap, and sort of like, you guys have been gone for a while,
Yeah.
and sort of using that as sort of like this humor thing
I see what you're saying.
throughout the film,
But if
being
it was Hulk, it wouldn't have been.
yeah, because they were good for like a refresher for everyone else throughout the film, being
Right.
like, oh yeah, these guys weren't there for that sort of thing, and
Right,
like,
right.
they're kind of out of the loop, right?
Yeah.
That was another. That's another thing about the film too that we haven't touched upon is how good of a job they did, like
Yeah,
mixing and matching
Everyone.
everyone. Like there must have been, off the top of my head, I'd say like 25, maybe 20 superheroes interacting throughout the film.
Not even that. There's like 15 plus like A-list celebrities in that movie,
Yeah,
and they put everyone like, I want to say
Yeah.
equal screen time.
I was about to say, like, I like how it didn't focus on one person, because you could have easily focused on Iron Man,
Yeah.
even though he had marginally like more time and like more of like
I'd say he had more
funnier
like,
roles,
Yeah,
kind
he
of.
had like more impact on the story.
But like I didn't feel like one person like stole the show.
I
It
think
was
the
like,
only person that had the most time was Thanos, just because it was kind of like
Yeah.
he was the main
Yeah.
antagonist.
mm-hmm.
But like I'm talking like just good guys wise, like everyone, it was just perfectly done.
It was a
it
really
was
great
done well.
balance of how they spread out the story and whatnot. And there was certain good ways they had of like cueing in characters, like when the Guardians first came in and they had like the music playing and whatnot.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And you could feel like the atmosphere in the theater even when we were watching it. People would be like, yeah,
it's
okay.
like- yeah.
It's their time. Or like when they went to Wakanda and you hear like the classic music.
oh
that
yeah,
hear.
you
Yeah.
heard. I thought they were gonna start playing some of the album,
Yeah.
because when you first see it, you hear like
Like the bass.
the
kind of-
bubbling kind of noise. Like I can't.
Yeah, I know
you know
it's-
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that like sound.
Yeah, and it was really good how they were able to sort of like mix and stir everyone and still have the good balance. And even as the viewer, you weren't overwhelmed being like losing track
Yeah, it wasn't
of
messy.
what was happening. Where like they bounced back pretty good. Where you're still like, oh yeah, this is happening. Well, that's happening, and whatnot, right?
Yeah, it was really cleanly put together.
Yeah, I know. I give them major props for that in itself.
And I
Yeah.
think like another great thing they did was like the humor, because I didn't really think like they overdid it. Like
I was almost gonna say that too, about how I think they just slightly overdid it.
they might
Mm-hmm.
have like just overstepped it, but I thought it was really good.
It didn't ruin the movie, but I feel like if they took out a few jokes here and there,
Yeah, like I feel like it was funny.
the jokes were funny.
It was really funny, but I feel like, you know, at times it was sort of misplaced where you kind of forget the threat that Thanos poses because you have like Star-Lord calling him Grimace or whatever. Like it was funny,
Yeah.
but it kind of like sets you back out of like the danger that they're in, sort of, and it makes you think that they don't know how much danger they're in. So it at times it kind of sent a confusing message, but
But it might have like just like thrown it out there, playing like the devil's advocate, right? Maybe they did that just because like they tried to make it seem like they didn't know Thanos' powers at first. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mm.
Like obviously Bruce Banner knew, but I mean like Star-Lord himself, like when he's like, oh, like your ball sack chin or
Mhm.
Grimace, or where he like flips him off and Doctor Strange opens the portal. Like maybe they didn't fully realize like his power, so they could like joke around with him. Because if you notice,
Yeah.
like at the end of the movie, when Thanos started like beating mans left and center, like there wasn't as many jokes going on. You know
That's
what I
actually a
mean?
good point, because like
Yeah.
there was a few times in the movie where like they're like, yeah, there's no way he's gonna get every stone. First of all, like Doctor Strange isn't gonna give him his stone. Gamora isn't gonna tell him where that stone is hidden.
Vision has a thing on the
Vision
wall.
had him. They were like, yeah, there's no way. Like I know he's trying to get the stone, but like there's no way it's gonna happen. So we can
Mhm.
make jokes. We can make it more of like a lighter situation. And then when he started getting the stones, then like closer to the end of the movie, there was less jokes, which actually might be very like, if they planned it like that, that could be very like working with the people's head.
Yeah.
Yeah, like sort of. Yeah. No, that's the thing, right? Like they sort of set up like. It's great because you're getting these heroes and you've seen their stories already, and like especially with Iron Man in the beginning where he calls Dark Maw, Squidward.
Oh.
Yeah, that was funny. That was actually funny.
But it's great because you have like Iron Man who's gone through Loki, Ultron, and like Whiplash, the Mandarin,
Yeah.
Warmonger, and stuff like that. Like he's fought. You've seen him win all these battles. At this point, they're like, okay, like you're just another blowjob that's coming here trying to take our shit. Like get out of here, Squidward, right?
Yeah.
And you're there, and you're kind of you laugh too because you're like, yeah, it's Iron Man. Like come on, right?
And Squidward is just like a.
Yeah,
That's like,
exactly right. And then you start.
Seeing what Squidward can do.
Yeah, like it takes time, but like throughout the film, you start seeing it, and it like really picks up pace, and they just get like thrown
Yeah, they get
into like the thick of it, right? So yeah, fair enough. Like maybe that's why they have the humor in it.
Like I'm just thinking, maybe they did intend it, maybe they didn't. But I was just thinking maybe because if you notice at the beginning of the movie, like a lot of the interactions with like the villains or each other, they're kind of joking around. You know what I mean? Like when they're on Titan and they're like, "Oh, I like your plan, but it sucks, so let's do mine."
yeah.
But then when they're in like the battle, like the really only jokes that are going on are just kind of like pop culture references. You know what I mean? Like there's not really any like banter between the villain and the main
Yeah,
guy.
it's more serious.
So maybe they did do that, and if they did, that's props to them.
That's brilliant.
That's
Yeah.
very smart. But like the off chance they didn't mean to, then it was also a great touch too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, I would probably see it again. Like I'd buy the DVD.
What-
Out of 10.
What I was about to say, what would you rate it out of 10?
Out of 10. Let's do it real quick here.
There's a couple things that bothered me. Not like to the point where it was like, oh, fuck this movie. But I'd say probably like an 8.5 to 9. I'd go with 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Done.
I'd say 8 out of 10.
8. Yeah. I've split the difference. To 8.5. out of 10.
8.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was like another thing that I noticed we didn't even talk about was the fucking special effects, like the visual effects.
Oh man.
The movie was put together, like the sounds,
Fucking crazy.
what do you call it? Like the CGI or
Yeah,
whatever.
that shit
Like the
was
cinematography was all
insane.
great. That was very well done.
Yeah, like the visual effects were just mind blowing because it looks so real to us that we take it for granted. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
that's
when
so
Iron Man's
hard to do.
Flying through the sky, it looks like they probably strapped into a plane or some shit. But
Yeah.
it was fucking beautiful.
Yeah,
It
no, they
was
did a great job with all
gorgeous.
that.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah, that was
we'll wrap it up for.
a good one.
If you have any questions or you want to
Theories.
leave a comment down below to ask us about it, maybe we can answer it
Yeah.
in the next video.
So
Let us know what you guys thought about the film if you've seen it. If you haven't,
Then I don't know why the fuck you
we
watched
are
this
so
whole
sorry
thing.
for.
and let us
ruining
know the
the
next
film.
movie we should watch.
Dude,
Yeah, yo.
Hundo, let us know.
Let
about
us know.
In the comments, we're
I
gonna
think
probably post
I
on.
think the next one we may go see is Deadpool.
Venom.
But if you have another one you want us to see, suggest
Yeah.
it down below and
Do it up.
Alright.
just make sure it's not a shitty one or else
Yeah.
you're getting fucking blocked.
Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys later.